Hello, superstars! Let's get started with today's Norwood News newsletter edition for Friday, June 4th, 2021. This is the weekly newsletter for Norwood Elementary School as part of Baltimore County Public Schools. We publish it every Friday. So, we are getting close to the end of the school year. It's that last stretch. So, we have actually a handful of dates here that we can share with you as our important upcoming dates, which is what we always kick off with. So starting with, we've got a couple of asynchronous days coming up, are Wednesday, June 9th and Wednesday, June 16th. But on the 16th specifically, it's our final coffee and conversation session, which will go a little bit more in detail here later on. But that's going to be from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And that's our June session. Now for Monday, June 21st, that's our second to last day of the school of classes. So it's going to be a 3-hour early dismissal, meaning 12:05 p.m. And for Tuesday, June 22nd, that is the final day of classes for all students, 3-hour early dismissal, again, 12:05 p.m. So we've talked about report cards. This is Q4 report cards, the fourth marking period, and they're going to be available on June 22nd, either in Focus on the platform that you can log in, and the access link is here that you can click on. This is all going to be included in the description of this video, but just go to this link. And as we've shown, you can click on this video to learn a little bit more about how that process works too. If you don't remember or need a refresher, you can also click on this link here for some written instructions on how to do it specifically. But we're going to also that day send them home printed out copies with those who are in person through hybrid instruction. Now, if your child is virtual only, then if you want a printed out version, you can call the school and request that one be mailed to you, but that is not done by default. So please make sure that you call and request that if that is actually what you want. So for this week's Social Worker Corner with Miss Julien, we continue to wrap up this discussion about mindfulness as we pivot from May's Mental Health Awareness Month. And so she wants to talk a little bit about how to wrap up some of these concepts and also use them over the summer. So this picture that he has included here is actually showing you some good activities that you can do outdoor to practice mindfulness. They play and use and draw from mindfulness, or they are good for sharpening mindfulness skills. So like gardening, taking a walk, bubbles, watching wildlife, the clouds, going on a scavenger hunt, deep and mindful breathing, drawing on a sidewalk with chalk, reading under a tree, walking barefoot. These are all good things that get you connected to the moment in that experience outside. And they forge good memories because you will remember being a kid and walking around barefoot, running outside in the grass, the smell of the lawn clippings, all that will be a really good way of being aware of your surroundings and how good things can be when you have this freedom. So it's really good to enjoy. Now, the other thing she wanted to also show and talk about, there's a playlist here that you can click on, and it's going to actually have Mind Yeti is a digital library that it's a platform for a lot of mindfulness related videos and activities for kids. So here there's just a collection of different strategies and activities that are good, that are all about mindfulness. So this is something that she wanted to share. Another thing that she wanted to share, unrelated though, but still fantastic as we head into the summer. Up until June 27th, you have to be able to go to the Maryland Science Center and have free entry for all Maryland students from pre-K through 12th grade. Now, you have to have a ratio of at least one adult to 10 students. So if you're going to go and look with a bunch of families and large groups, you got to have at least that kind of a ratio. And adults still have to pay their entry. But the children are all free as long as you can prove it through a printed out report card, or maybe show it on your phone if you can. You can do residence verification in terms of where you live, driver's license and address, an ID if they have it, if they're an older student that has a school ID. So those are all options. But just click on this link and you'll see, all these different things are going to be covered here. It'll tell you specifically how the free admission works. And so that's a really good thing to keep in mind. That's a fantastic resource and activity to do as we start, the long dog days of summer. And items for pickup for virtual learning students, because students who are in hybrid learning or in person are going to be able to be sent home with these things. So we're talking about some books for ESOL students, some art supplies, and some summer reading materials. We're going to actually provide these for virtual learning students to pick up, which means you have to be aware of when we publish these dates and times. So we will be publishing that soon. most likely in the next week's bulletin and sending home through messenger information and calls. But just be aware, because we don't have those dates specifically yet. But we just wanted to let you know that you will have those opportunities to come and get those materials. Wrapping up our May Coffee and Conversation session, as well as looking ahead to the June one. So specifically for the May, we just created this document that had all those resources that Miss JULIEN shared. She shared some of them as kind of a wrap up and addendum to the session in the last week's social worker corner, but she's also expanded upon it. So if you click on this link, you're going to be taken to the PDF, which is this takeaway resource, and it has a bunch of printouts at the end that are very useful. This is completely in English and Spanish. It's fully bilingual. And so you can actually print these documents out and use them in your home, post them on your fridge. They could be very helpful during activities, or to just help remind you of some things to keep in mind, or your children, like even for adults, how to co-regulate with your child. So that's really important. And the front page is going to have all these links that you can either click on, even on your phone. If you're downloading this on your phone or looking at it, you can click on, you can see here that the cursor is changing as I go over these links. But if a link doesn't work for whatever reason, or it's too difficult to tap on with your phone, you can always try copying, selecting the link text, and pasting it into your browser. It's always a backup that you can do with this. Now, for the upcoming June session, which is going to be on Wednesday, June 16th from 11 to 12, we're going to be talking about engaging activities and resources to help bolster the reading, writing, and math skills in your children over the summer break. So, as always, just join us on Google Meet using the code norwoodfamilies. For now, some things we've posted before in previous sessions. Reminder about the CCBC Family Literacy ESOL program for summer. That's basically going to be held at various CCBC campuses, and the nearest one that's most convenient here is the Dundalk campus. And you have to go register and set aside a few hours to register in the MASH building, which is the Mathematics and Science Hall. So just click on the link here. The program flyer tells you a little bit more about, Thursday, June 10th is the big day for Dundalk registration. They have a morning session and an evening session to register, and you have to commit. You can't miss a lot of these sessions once you start. It's free. It's completely free for anyone that you think might be interested in learning and improving their English, especially in a functional way that applies to your child's schooling. This would be a really good thing to send them to, or to let them know. And we also have included the campus map for the Dundalk campus of CCBC. You can go to a different campus if you want, if it works for you, but Dundalk is going to be the most convenient one for this area. Now, our library specialist, Ms. Boblitz, wants to remind everyone to return your library books. So they're going to be hiding in all sorts of weird and creepy places, or maybe not so much. It could be just the backseat of a car, or under a mattress, under a bed, inside of a bed, a toy box, a dresser or a drawer, mixed in with your personal collection in your bookshelf, or on a sofa, on a TV stand, or just all sorts of places. Please check thoroughly to make sure that we get these books back. Summer Playground Camp at Berkshire Elementary. This is a very affordable camp, because for $125 for 5 weeks, breakfast and lunch included, you can send your child to this camp where they can get engaged through various arts and crafts and projects and special events. Now, you have to go register in person at that school in the community recreation room. We've got some sessions coming up for Saturday, June 5th from 11 to 1 and Monday, June 14th from 5 to 7. So you've got some options, but they're, one of them is going to be finished soon. We've already had one pass by. So this is a very affordable plan compared to most summer camps that are hundreds of dollars. I know it's still quite a bit, but you may want to consider it strongly if you're looking for a way to keep your kids engaged and occupied. As for the vision and hearing screening letters, we know we've talked about this before. Just be careful, because some of you may think that you don't need to do this because you didn't get it, but it might just be held up in the mail. So let me just reiterate who needs to be doing this. All students who are new to the state of Maryland, who have not any kind of record previously from their previous school or where they were before for any hearing and vision screening within the last year. If you come from a different state and you have a record within the last year of having gotten that done, that may suffice very much so. Just talk to Nurse Debbie. You can call her at 443-809-6029 if you have any doubts as to whether your child needs to be doing this, or if you qualify in this situation or not. But also specifically, any student who is new, pre-K or kindergartner where it's their first year, or a kindergartner or first grader who has not had it done in the last year because of the disruption of the pandemic. So if you didn't get it done this year and then last year, then you need to do this. So if you fall into those categories, please click on these links. This first link over here is going to take you to the sign up. You're going to want to look for the one that has the initials EFRC, because that's the Eastern Family Resource Center. That's the one that's most convenient to this area. The other ones are pretty far away, but if you scroll down and just keep going all the way down, you'll find some dates that have some times available, and there's still a good amount that are left. But definitely, if your child needs to miss a little bit of school, that's well worth to do. This is super important. And the actual letter we're also including here, so if you need to look at that or print that, you're welcome to do that as well. The emergency broadband benefit for eligible families, for those who are in need or low income. This is just something from the FCC that makes you be eligible for a discount, and how much of a discount or for what depends on your situation. But you can just click here to get more information to apply, or you can go ahead and apply by either calling your internet provider and asking if they're a participant and if they have a special process, or you can click on the link to apply here electronically, or you can print out in English or Spanish an application, a written one, fill it out by hand, and send it to this address down here. So that's always an option that you have that you can do. And you can also click on this video that's included that talks a little bit about the program to learn more. That's it for this week. Thanks again for all of your help as we near the end of the school year. Hang in there. We'll get through this together. So we hope you have a fantastic upcoming week and a weekend. And as always, keep on learning. Thanks.